Right there, Bootstrappers. This is Ryan Nickel coming at you with another day in the life of a Bootstrap Real Estate Investor. Episode number 140. All right, so your results are the only thing that matters in this game. And whatever your results are, hey, they are what they are. And if you don't like the results, change your habits, change your actions, change the steps that you are taking, and you'll change the results. If you continue the same old thing, you'll continue to get the same old thing. So yesterday, I went, go ahead. Yep, I'm driving here, multitasking. Yesterday, I decided I was going to call on some of my leads. Guess what? I think I wrote down 15, but I probably made all in all about 22, 23 different phone calls. And let's see if this changes my skin complexion. Oh, look at that. Got two-tone going on here. All right, so all of these phone numbers were bad phone numbers. You know what? That's what happened. So what do? I jump on Facebook. I start looking for these people. And guess what? Imagine this. Facebook has the person's name, but in parentheses, it has their married name. Or what maybe their maiden name is. I don't know how that works. But anyway, I started searching on those names, and I found new phone numbers. But I also reached out to them. I messaged them on Facebook saying, hey, you know what? We haven't met, but you wouldn't happen to be the same person that has this house on this address that's for sale, would you? Haven't heard back from them. That's okay. People are passive. They don't, they're in default. They don't want to talk. But I didn't like the results that I was getting. I'm like, okay, this isn't working. I'm striking out here. No one's contacting me back on Facebook. All these numbers are inactive. And then I got a bunch of new phone numbers. I'm like, I don't have time right now to call these new phone numbers. I got something else going on. So later that evening, I dropped off my son at a class that he has. I'll roll this window up so you can hear me a little bit better so I'm not yelling. All right. And when I dropped him off, I'm like, you know what? I got 40 minutes to kill. I'm going to go look for some properties. And that's just what I did. I drove by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I drove by 6 properties yesterday. I got out of 3 of them because the other 3 were clearly occupied, didn't want to talk to them. One of them, I talked to the neighbor, and she goes, oh yeah, someone lives there. They've actually in the middle of remodeling it. So either it was transferred and it's not showing on the records, and that person's remodeling it, or I'm going to actually have to look that one up again. I think that might be one of my buddies that picked that house up pretty cheap. I'll have to double check that one. But anyway, not important. Other 2, I got out, talked to the neighbors in front, on the sides, all over the place. One of the houses is completely boarded up and abandoned. Now, I don't know if the lender owns this house or not because it's still in the person's name. The neighbors told me that the people moved out there well over a year ago, and there were some squatters, and there was a fire there. And the fire was about a couple of months ago, and you can see there's a lot of fire damage. But it's still in the owner's name. But there's a sign on it. There's 3 different lock boxes on this house. And then there's a realtor sign, not in the yard, but on the wall saying this house is secure, blah, blah, blah. It's been, protected by the lender. Obviously the lender's secure, it's trying to secure their asset kind of thing from future damage. But now what's going to happen here is I don't know if the lender did take it back, and that's why the real estate agent is working on it. And they just did not record the deed, or it's still in this person's name and the lender has not foreclosed on it yet. It's hard to tell because the auction date was set for March 14th or March 17th. No, April 17th. 4/17 is what it was. April 17th. So my guess is that the lender did take it back. It did go to the auction. They did lose it, and the lender never recorded the deed, which is a great opportunity for me to go and find this homeowner and say, hey, you know what? You already lost the house. You have nothing to lose. Give me a shot at it, and then I'll go ahead and move forward with it. Especially if the lien has been reconveyed after the auction. Okay, so that's all right. That's one deal. Drove by another house, saw it was all gutted out. I'm like, oh man, this would have been a sweet deal if I would have moved on it. Someone bought it just a couple of months prior. But anyway, here's the best deal of the day. I'm driving by, last pre-foreclosure I go to look at, it's clearly vacant. It's a mobile home. It's a double wide on a half acre. It's in a not so good part of town. I pull up, the neighbor's outside, he's just staring me down. I'm like, I need to talk to this guy first. I pull up right in the driveway, I'm like, hey, what's up? And it's clearly obvious that I don't own this house when my car says I buy houses on the back. Square, it's squarely for everyone to view in the public. It's a public display. Anyway, so I walk over to the neighbor who's just staring me up and down. And he was friendly enough. And by the way, I record all of this stuff. So it's all recorded. And when I release my training, you're going to get access to all this stuff for free. So I'm going to show you all of the phone calls I made as well. You're going to get the good and the bad. I'm not going to hide everything and just put it out there and go like, oh, look at me, check me out. I'm a one and done kind of guy. No, it takes multiple attempts to get this thing to work. So anyway, I'm talking to the neighbor and he goes, yeah, they died. I'm like, they both died? Was it like a murder-suicide? No. One person died, and then a year and a half later, the other person died. Again, you're gonna hear all this in the recording. And so anyway, in talking to him, I go, what's the deal with the house? He goes, well, it got broken into, it's vandalized. The son came out here one time, he doesn't want it. I'm like, are you sure he doesn't want it? Well, I don't know why he doesn't want it. He hasn't been back since then. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, it's going to sell. He's like, well, if it is, I'm interested in buying it. So right there, boom, I have a buyer if I want to wholesale this thing. He says, I'm a cash buyer. I buy investment properties. I bought this one at auction. I'm like, okay. We'll see what, his price is and my price are. And I'm probably going to lose connection here as I pull into my driveway and connect to my Wi-Fi, but that's all right. So anyway, as I'm pulling away, I'm looking at this house and I'm checking it out. And I'm like, you know what? Here we are, September 14th. Notice of default was 5. Oh, okay, there we go. Lost connection there. So anyway, like I was saying, when I connect to my house, I lose connection. So anyway, it was just filed over a month ago. Now, the chances are is that this is not that far behind at all. Maybe a couple of grand, if that. And the monthly payments, I'm imagining for a double wide in this location are probably pretty low. So anyway, next step today is to go ahead and contact this son, find out where he lives. I found out the neighbor told me he's out of state or out of the area. So I'm going to go ahead and do some research here, look up the obituary, see next of kin, who these people were survived by, give me a good indication of who to look for. And then I'm off to the races with this son. Maybe he wants the house, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe there's something we can partner with. Again, great opportunity, and it only was worth about 40 minutes of my time and talking to people. So get out there. Your results are a direct correlation and relation to the action that you're taking today. If you're not taking action, then of course your results suck. That's all it is, bottom line. I wasn't happy with my results yesterday. I got out. I made something happen. I changed my actions and my behaviors. I went out and I started driving for dollars, talking to neighbors, trying to find out new properties because the ones I was going after I was hitting dead ends. I'm not giving up on those, but I wasn't going to hang my hat and say, okay, I'm done for the day. Nothing happened with those. Make stuff happen. And that's what it's all about being a bootstrapper. You have to have that in your gut. You have to get out there and you have to take action every single day. If you don't like the results from what's happening, change them, get going. And guess what? That's the best thing about this life is when you take action, inspiration hits, and you hit, paydays. All right, I'm Ryan Nickel. I'm out. I'm hitting the day hard.